Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Check with Tech, your guide to all things tech. I'm your host, Yaseen Azzam, and let's get started, shall we? First things first, the OnePlus 7T and the OnePlus 7T Pro have been teased plenty of times by OnePlus, and they're doing exactly what Google is doing with the Pixel 4. They're actually showing the back of the 7T. It will have a circle-shaped camera bump, just like the Huawei Mate 30. More on that later. And it will come with a brand new matte color, which Pete Law, the CEO, describes it as a smooth matte surface with a brilliant metallic radiance. Both phones will have a 90Hz display and will come with Warp Charge 30T, which is set to charge 23% faster than the regular Warp Charge 30. The reveal will go live on September 26, and the launch event will happen on October 10. Next up, let's go to Uber, apparently. To recap, Uber last year announced a new feature called Ride Check, which basically uses your phone's GPS, accelerometer, gyroscope, and other sensors to indicate whether an accident has occurred. Now, there will be an initial pop-up confirming that you are alright or not, and if you're not, you will be prompted to call 911. And this feature is now live on the US, and it will come on plenty of other countries later. Now, I have my doubts as if whether or not this will actually work. I don't know how Uber will use that information from the accelerometer / gyroscope / others to help the machine learning know whether or not there is an accident. But they will say that the initial pop-up will come with two options: yeah, we are fine, and no, there was an accident. If you do press yeah, we're fine, apparently, the machine learning actually benefits from that, so it knows like those information do not mean that there was an accident. If it was other than that, then there probably is. Yeah, then we have Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6 is available now. It's supposed to be more power efficient with faster speeds, and iOS 13 just got out recently, and apparently someone found out a little trick that could get your contact information stolen. It basically requires translating Siri to voiceover, and I do not like this. I keep a lot of my precious information in my contacts, so I don't like if there's a trick to steal that set information. So if I were you and I'm about to update to iOS 13, I would wait for iOS 13.1, which is launching next week. Now, the Pixel 4, everybody, I guess, knows that it will look basically like the iPhone 11 Pro, but with a few extra colors. And the reveal will actually be on October 15. Nice. The Nintendo Switch Lite is available today, and I actually really like it. It's $200, $100 cheaper than the original. If you don't have a Switch and you like to game a lot on the go, then this is the perfect system for you. But if you do have the Switch, you won't benefit that much, in my opinion, because it's the same, except it doesn't support the dock system. So in my opinion, if you do have a Nintendo Switch, you probably don't need the Switch Lite that much. But hey, if you do get the Switch Lite, good for you. It's an excellent video game handheld. Now let's get to the highlight of this episode, and that's the Huawei Mate 30, the Mate 30 Pro, and the Mate 30 Pro 5G. The Mate 30 will have a 6.62-inch OLED display, and the Mate 30 Pro will have a 6.53-inch OLED display. I don't know how the Pro version is a little bit smaller than the original. but both phones will have a 5G variant. Nice. All phones will have 4 cameras, a 40 megapixel regular f1.6 OIS lens, a 40 megapixel ultra-wide f1.8 lens, an 8 megapixel telephoto f2.4 OIS camera, and a 3D depth sensor for portrait. And those cameras, get this, they will have slow motion for up to 7,680 frames per second. Let me repeat. 7,680 frames per second. That is way too much for a phone. The Samsung's phones, I guess, have at least 960 frames per second, but this is almost 10 times slower. And do you remember the P30 Pro? Well, it did have a water drop instead of a notch, but this time the Mate 30 and the Mate 30 Pro, well, it will have notches, but most of them are for portrait and face unlock. And the selfie camera will have a 32 megapixel f2 with a depth sensor for a said face unlock. And all phones will have Huawei's newest processor, the Kirin 990, which also has a 5G variant. The new phones will come with a 40-watt charging brick, and Huawei will sell wireless charging pads for the Mate 30, which supports up to 27 watts for wireless charging. Most phones don't even have that much for wired. So if that actually is available on all devices, then wired charging will be no more. I'm legit serious. The phones will have MUI 10, but here's the thing. Things about politics I really don't want to talk about in this podcast, but TLDR, the Huawei Mate 30 and the Mate 30 Pro will have Android 10, but they will not have any of Google's services or applications. So say goodbye to Google, to YouTube, to Google Maps, and I don't know. Huawei is investing $1 billion to help recover from to convince developers to put their applications on their application launcher, and I don't know. I don't really know how I can live without Google. Google had way too much work to be on the number one spot for software. I mean, Android 10 and MUI 10, it sounds good, but I don't know. I use Google services every day. That's basically my daily routine. So if you just cut it from my phone, I really don't know. That's the biggest negative about this phone. I really do not know how it will play out in sales, but what I do know that it will sell well. I mean, it is a Huawei phone with basically the most incredible camera specs, specifically the ultra slow motion, which is what I call that. The Huawei Mate 30 will start at €799, which is equal to $883, and the Huawei Mate 30 Pro will start at €1,099, which is equivalent to $1,215, and the Huawei Mate 30 Pro 5G will cost €1,199, or $1,326. That was quite a mouthful for prices. I mean, euros aren't said everywhere in the tech industry, so that's why I wanted to translate that to dollars. So I just said both. Yeah, that's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out my website. The link is in the description of the podcast. And don't be afraid to subscribe, watch to my other episodes, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Until next week, bye.